This is the After Party, live with Kim McAllister. Pick a couch, grab a drink, and settle into the conversation.
Hey everybody, it is the After Party Live on this Monday. Thank you for being here. And right out of the gate, huge thank you to Wes. I saw you pop up with your $5 super sticker. There it is. Thank you, Wes Theory. So appreciate it. Really nice. And what a way to start the Monday. Do have a new segment today because you guys requested it. I know last week we talked about caves. I thought maybe we'd call it Hide in Your Cave Monday. And I do have a cave to present to you, and I'll do it at the very end of the show. Doug says, happy Monday. Hope you like a little cloudy weather. Kind of feels like fall is moving in. Definitely. Thank you. Happy Monday to you too. Happy belated birthday to Teacher Lori. I'm sorry that I didn't say it beforehand, but I hope it was a really nice birthday. I know you're kind of not been feeling so hot, so I hope that that your health struggles didn't mar your birthday, that you managed to find some joy there. Miss Sandy says, so great to listen to Mark today. Yeah, it was a good show. Was from a different location, so it was good, but we could hear him and we didn't have very many technical problems, so it was okay. Just a show note, it'll be me filling in for Mark Tuesday, Wednesday, and maybe Thursday. I'm hoping Mark will be back Thursday and Friday, but if not, just Friday. So that's the way it's shaking out. Let's get to some of the stories we have on tap today. And the first one is Gen Z. Here's a chart. There are a bunch of employers who are saying, you know what? Gen Z is just not ready to work. Oh no. They haven't been successful. Employers are saying a lot of Gen Z workers are not prepared for the workplace. 6 in 10 employers said they have fired recent college grads that they hired in 2024. A recent survey by Intelligent.com found 1 in 6 companies are even hesitant to hire recent college graduates. They say they are unprepared, they don't have good communication skills, they're not very professional. Some hiring managers are saying these Gen Z employees, the recent college grads, don't have any motivation. They're flat. They have no charisma. They don't have the people skills, the soft skills necessary for a professional environment to succeed there. This company says 75% of companies, the company being Intelligent.com who did the survey, 75% of companies report some or all of the recent college grads they hired this year are unsatisfactory. And here's what it looks like. 50% of them lack motivation or initiative. Yikes. They are lacking in professionalism, poor organizational skills, poor communication skills, challenge with feedback. I mean, who doesn't have challenge with feedback, right? Lack of relevant or work experience. Okay, that's understandable. Poor problem-solving skills. That's unfortunate. Insufficient technical skills. You would think this is the generation that would be a leg up on everyone else technically. Bad culture fit. Yikes. Difficulty working in a team. Wow. Yeah, not good for recent college grads. 1 in 7 companies said they might refrain from hiring recent college grads next year. They say although these recent college grads may have some theoretical knowledge from college, they lack the practical real-world experience and soft skills required to succeed in the work environment. And that those factors, combined with the expectations of seasoned workers, create challenges for both recent grads and the companies that they work for. The study, by the way, involved 1,000 business leaders participating in that study. It was conducted in August. So, you know, there was a recruiting goal to have Gen Z make up about 30% of the workforce by 2025. But if employers are backing off hiring Gen Z, that could be a real problem for people. You have to go back to people school to teach people not only, you know, a craft, but also how to function in the real world. What happened? Was it COVID that derailed people's skills? I don't know why they're not able to function as part of a team. Yikes. But I read these studies and I think, okay, got to make sure my kids are able to communicate. Got to make sure that when I give them feedback, they understand that bosses are going to give them feedback someday. Did your parents ever tell you that? Did you ever, I think it's like a common parent trope, right? Where maybe that's the wrong word, but where your parents will say, well, if you don't like that person, someday you're going to have to deal with a boss in the workplace that's, going to give it to you even worse as far as reality, a dose of reality. So I don't know. Maybe we're not preparing them correctly. How pretty is this creature? This is in New Zealand, and they've named this bird of the year. They had the big costume contest, craft beer contest. It was a big to-do. And after the big festivities, the big party, this golden-eyed endangered penguin was once again named New Zealand's Bird of the Year. This happens after this big competition. It's called a hoi-ho, or a noise shouter. And it's the second time this bird has won New Zealand's Bird of the Year, 2019 and now 2024. They say it is a big competition. These birds, they were championed by a bunch of people. They had a rugby team supporting them, a brewery that was celebrating this bird with the People's Penguin beer. It's a hoi-ho yellow-eyed penguin, and it's now the Bird of the Year. It joins the kakapo in being the only birds to win this contest in New Zealand twice. Unfortunately, it's a good thing that this bird was named, because it's named Bird of the Year in New Zealand, because it's a very it's a bird that needs the platform, you could say. It's seen its population dip nearly 80% within a 15-year period. So they say this honor comes at the perfect time for this bird. They're getting hammered from all angles. They've got horrible diseases like diphtheria. They're getting attacked by dogs. They're tiny. Their little vulnerable chicks are threatened by predators like cats and ferrets that can wipe out an entire breeding site in a single session. So even Jane Goodall said she was offering her support for the hoi-ho's win this year. So, that's good. We need a little publicity for this guy, this cute penguin. The firefighters that saved this creature deserve a lot of publicity too. This dog was in a home that caught fire. Somebody left something on the stove. It was a cooking type of fire. And the firefighters came and realized the dog was still inside. So they gave CPR to the dog. This happened in Midvale, Utah. The only resident in the apartment was the dog. The dog was unfortunately inside of a kennel. And when firefighters came in, the dog wasn't responsive. So they gave the dog CPR, life-saving CPR. Company 110 had the incredible opportunity to rescue this dog from a fire. And they say moments like these remind us how lucky we are to protect not only our community, but our furry family members as well. And they saved this dog's life. How amazing is that? And I love that they took the time to do it, that they cared so much to do it. They went all out for this animal. I love it. The Polaris is back. Look at that. Really cool pictures of the Polaris. You see this one here. These are the 4 parachutes that deployed before the Polaris dropped into the water. Oh, kind of a cool picture there. Splashed down. Everything went okay. Came down in the Gulf of Mexico on Sunday after this 5-day mission that, and we saw pictures of this last week, had the world's first commercial spacewalk. Humans the farthest they have been from the Earth since the 1970s. The Crew Dragon capsule with 4 astronauts aboard landed off the coast of Dry Tortugas, west of Key West, Florida, early Sunday morning. And everything went really well. To safely reach Earth, the capsule carried out a deorbit burn, orienting itself to go through the thickest part of the Earth's atmosphere. The spacecraft encountered up to 3,500 degrees Fahrenheit, protected by the Crew Dragon's heat shield on the very bottom of the 13-foot wide capsule. And then they slowed it down with the parachutes you see here. To slow its descent, it hit the ocean, bobbed around before the rescue crews came in on a special boat. They call it the Dragon's Nest boat, and they pulled everybody out of there. So, pretty cool. They say there's a lot of work to do, but they had a great experience up there. It was an interesting spacewalk. This vehicle, this Dragon capsule, does not have an airlock. And that meant the entire interior was exposed to the vacuum of space during the spacewalk. They had special new suits they were going to test, which seemed to have worked out okay. So this is a pretty big deal if this happened. All of the interesting things that happened aboard as well. Here's a story for you. I looked at this story and I kept trying to figure out, are they messing with me? Is this true? I had to source this story up one side and down the other. Make sure that I wasn't feeding you guys a bunch of hooey. There is an asteroid heading toward Earth that, instead of smashing through our planet's atmosphere, NASA thinks is going to become trapped in orbit and become like a mini moon. Not for long. About 2 months, we're going to have a mini moon. It's the truth. I'm not even making it up. The asteroid is named 2024 PT5. It was discovered on August 7th. It's about 33 feet in diameter. 2 astronomers from the Complutense University of Madrid have studied the orbit and the object and concluded that it will become captured in the Earth's orbit for a brief window between September 29th and November 25th. And then it will fall back into the orbit of the sun and continue its journey through the solar system. So for 56.6 days, the Earth will have 2 moons, 1 proper moon and 1 little mini moon. The study by the astronomers say it's unlikely to be artificial, so it's probably not just a piece of space junk, which can be mistaken for mini moons. They say this could be an Arjuna asteroid, which is defined as a near-Earth object with a similar orbit to our planet. They're naming this after the ancient prince of the Kuru kingdom, located in present-day India, and a central character in the Hindu epic Mahabharata. So, this is a mini moon event. Again, September 29th through November 25th. Will we see it, is the question. And astronomers say it's unlikely with the naked eye. We're unlikely to catch a glimpse of the mini moon while they say it's welcome to the Earth's embrace, according to NASA. It has an absolute magnitude of 27.6, which is very dim, and it won't be visible through most amateur telescopes. We've had these mini moons, so-called mini moons, before. In 1981, we had a short-lived mini moon, which was an asteroid. It quickly left our planet's grasp before returning again as a mini moon in 2022, and it likely will come back in 2051. This one, this 2024 PT5, is expected to make multiple mini-moon visits as well, expected to return to Earth's orbit in January of 2025 before leaving and returning again in 2055. Read more about it in the journal Research Notes of the American Astronomical Society. But this is interesting. Got a little mini-moon coming up here. So, mathematicians are doing something interesting. They're coming up with a new classification for some types of shapes. Yeah. So, we have a square, we have a triangle, we have all the traditional shapes. Now, they say they've discovered a whole new class of shapes. They're calling them the geometric building blocks of biology. So, these three-dimensional shapes that we have, again, cubes, triangles, squares, hexagons, they all have sharp corners and flat faces. But there are a lot of things in nature characterized by shapes with curved edges, non-flat surfaces. They don't have many sharp corners, if any at all. And so mathematicians were trying to figure out how to fill this space with shapes or objects. When you look at how to do that, most people will immediately go to the sharp cornered shapes. And it makes sense. If you're trying to fill a space with circles, you end up with some empty spots, right? But mathematicians are now saying if you look to the natural world, they have already answered this question. The study done with mathematical modeling at the University of Oxford, they say nature not only abhors a vacuum, she also seems to abhor sharp corners. And they talk about onions being cut in half. And you look at the collection of interlocking shapes, but there are no right angles or straight lines. And then it's the same with the muscle tissue that you see here on the screen. A cross-section of the cells that make up smooth muscle fibers reveal a tessellation of squidged out circles and long, thin strands with points at either end. They say it's not that we didn't know these shapes existed before, but looking at them from a mathematical point of view has been a little more complicated. So they have these properties of tilings they've investigated in detail, and they paid attention to the smoothness of the cells. Since piecewise smooth shapes like squares, cubes do fill a space, and smooth shapes do not, the natural question was how smooth space-filling shapes can be. They say if a shape isn't pointy enough, there's no way for it to successfully fill a space. So they had to answer the question, how pointy does a shape need to be at a minimum in order to successfully tile a space? And that's when they thought, these soft cells. These are shapes which minimize the number of sharp corners, filling spaces as soft tilings. These ideal soft shapes, born out of geometry, are found abundantly in nature, from cells like you see here, to seashells like you see here. Rounded edges, not a lot of hard edges or points. You can see some points, but not a lot. So, they say these shapes can be found everywhere once you know what to look for. They're geometric building blocks of biological tissue. They form with tip growth, blood cells, river islands, seashells. Establishing and maintaining sharp corners in physical cells is different and costly, according to these researchers, as surface tension and elasticity naturally tend to smooth corners. So they say it's not surprising that many soft tilings are found in nature. They published this paper in the journal PNAS Nexus. And so it's a whole new class of shape. We have the soft shape, the soft cell shape. So see, at your next cocktail party, you'll be able to whip out with that. Look at you. Maybe, I don't know. I do want to take a moment to thank SJ Lola, who just got back from 10 glorious days in Alaska. And good to join the partiers again. Good to have you back, SJ Lola. And thank you for the $10 super sticker. I hope you had the best time ever. Jim Slayton with the $5 super sticker as well. So thank you to Jim. Thank you to SJ Lola. Thank you to Wes for helping support this little show. I so appreciate it. Squidged. Yeah, squidged. It's the word used in the study, Rev. No joke. Let's talk about the Lotto of the day. From science to absolutely no science. This person just had a really strong feeling that they were going to be lucky. This is from Michigan, where a woman said she had a really strong feeling. She's 60 years old from Kent County. She says she occasionally uses the lottery app to play online games every now and then. And she said the night of this lottery winning, she just had a really strong feeling that she said I should try the Michigan jackpot game. She said I tried to give it a try. And after I played a couple of tickets, I hit the jackpot. She said, I was so anxious when I won, I thought it was a mistake or was going to disappear from my phone. I went to bed that night, and when I woke up in the morning, I raced to check my lottery account. When I saw the prize was still there, I told my husband the good news. This woman, because of her strong feeling, won a progressive jackpot from this online lottery game worth $264,963. We'll call it 265 grand. She's going to use her prize money to invest in her business and to share with her family. She says, I'm so happy and grateful to have won this prize, and I'm going to pay it forward. So that's nice. We like to see people win that are going to share with others and do something nice for other people. This is a little bit of a down story for the party. There's a new poll of parents that show many of them worry about their kids finding friends. Parents are worried their kids aren't popular enough or that they aren't making the right kinds of friends. The results, published by the University of Michigan Health C.S. Mott Children's Hospital, National Poll on Children's Health, says about 1 out of 5 parents say their child between the ages of 6 and 12 has either no friends or has not enough friends. 2 in 3 parents said it's important their child's friends come from families like theirs, something that could get in the way of kids making new friendships. Friendships aren't about having somebody exactly like you. You can have things in common and come from different backgrounds. That's the beauty of knowing people and getting to know people and connecting with people. Keeping friendships exclusive to certain circles can prevent a child from developing broader perspectives, open-mindedness, and better social skills, according to the Mott Poll co-director. They say school is often viewed as a place where children will encounter and form connection with peers with different backgrounds, ideas, customs, ways of thinking, so that limiting a child's friends to only those from similar backgrounds could really damage their ability and their comfort in navigating the diverse networks in the future. And we wonder why people have trouble at work, right? Most commonly, parents want their kids to find friends from families with similar parenting styles. More than a third of parents preferred friends come from families with certain political or religious affiliation, which is really interesting because my niece made a friend at high school, this really, really religious girl. And the school is a kind of an advanced high school where the classes are harder. It's it's called an accelerated high school. And the parents of this friend she made, I guess, wanted her to go to one of these Bob Jones University style places, which why then you would put your child in a school that is heavy with science and math and technology and accelerated classes. I don't know, but my niece made friends with this girl and they have the most interesting conversations. And they are politically opposed to each other and disagree about a lot of issues and somehow manage to have these really interesting conversations. And I would say that they're both the better for it. Anyway, 1 in 5 people asked in this poll said shyness or social awkwardness has gotten in the way of their child's ability to make new friends. 15% said other kids are mean to their child, making it tough to find friendship. Just under 10% said their child's disability or medical condition makes friendships more challenging. Friendships, they say, can play a significant role in children's overall health and development, their emotional well-being, their self-esteem, their social skills. But some parents say their children face barriers in making friends. like personality, social anxiety, medical conditions, or just not having many opportunities. 3 out of the 4 parents said they'd taken steps to help their child make new friends, like arranging play dates or outings or enrolling their child in activities, extra activities to help them make new friends. A quarter of parents try to help by befriending other parents with kids the same age. That's a way to do it as well. Um, this study is interesting to me because when we were kids, did it seem like your parents were concerned about your friendships? Because mine never were. They never said, you need to go out and make more friends. Maybe yours did. I don't know. But now it seems like it's a thing. I'm concerned about social emotional. I'm concerned about whether my kids have enough friends, right? Not the right kind of friends. I don't even care about the culture or the political stance of the families of the friends that they make, but just that they're actually making them. Why does it seem like it wasn't a concern way back then, or way back when we were young, back when I was young, versus now? I don't know. Karen says, my son has Asperger's. Challenging, right? Yeah. Mama Day 3 Boys says, my oldest has a lot of friends. He's not like me at all. Mindy says, give the kids some space, parents. Don't judge your kids' friends so harshly. Let them make their own mistakes. Gordon says, my parents couldn't care less about this. Didn't care less about this. Mine either. Mindy Lee says, my mom said nothing about my friends. Now, Mindy, it's a big concern. Everybody I talk to, they're worried. Did their child have enough friends? I thought I was the only one. And now that's what we're all worried about. It never seemed like a big problem before, but now it is. Oh, Rev says, I have that feeling often. I think my feels are broken. No. No, sad. I don't want your feels to be broken. You're friends with us here, right? That's good for today. Let's do that. Yeah. SJ Lola says it's good for your niece. True emotional maturity right there. Was. I mean, sometimes the conversations got heated. And at one point, I think something bad was said by the friend about folks that are gay, and they had to take a break because it upset my niece. So we can have the conversations, but we're not going to be derogatory toward people. There was some incident. But they put it back together. And they, managed to continue to have discussions and continue to have this friendship. So, yeah. Teacher Lori says it's social media. Do you think that's true? Because my son isn't on social media. My daughter wasn't on social media. You know what I think, Teacher Lori? Is that parents are involved in their children's lives in different ways than they used to be. My parents cared about my grades. My parents cared about, did I get my homework done? But they never really asked about, I guess maybe because I had friends or the friends were always over, they knew the friends. If I never brought anyone home or if I never talked about friends, maybe they would have been concerned. I don't know. It just seems like we're sticking our fingers into our children's lives in ways that our parents didn't to us. Maybe social media does have a role. Sandy says, my parents weren't concerned about my friends until I got older and I started hanging out with what my parents considered the wrong crowd. Yeah. That'll get their attention in a heartbeat, huh? Mindy says, kids lost social skills during the pandemic and school closures. Social skills out the window. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Karen writes, one day a mom contacted me about getting another child together, or her child together with the other woman's autistic child. The son refused and I wouldn't force him. Yeah, forcing doesn't do any good. Murphy says, I saw a report that parents of college-age kids are getting too involved in trying to make sure their kids are making friends in college too. Wow. I think when your kid goes off to college, you say to yourself, I've done my job. It's time for you to fly. I'll be here if you need me. I'll check in with you. If you have a problem, let's work through it together. Right? But to still try to micromanage your child after they leave for college, no wonder then we saw the study at the top of the show saying that kids don't know how to handle it when they then go into the workforce. Your parents can't go to work with you. You have to be able to live your life and make decisions and be able to be social with people and be appropriate with people. No. And we need to start doing it earlier. So, Gordon says one great friend is good enough in my book. It's true. I tell my kids, don't put all your friendship eggs in one basket because you never know what's going to happen. But later in life, when you know who your true people are, one great friend can make all the difference. Yeah. Deidre says maybe the concern is valid, especially in the new social media cell phone world. Perhaps you guys are right. Yeah. Jim says, aloha, Jim. My high school friends were completely different than my middle school friends and more different than my elementary school friends. It's okay to have more or less friends at different times. Yeah. And I think this is true, Susan. She says, my mom didn't say a word to me about these things. Maybe people today worry too much about everything. That's true. Or maybe there was a generation of us struggling without friends and our parents could have helped. I don't know. I don't know. Oh, it was about the lottery, about lottery luck? Oh, thank goodness. Because I'm glad you have friends. Whew. That's what happens when I read out of context. My middle son, says Mama, is having some challenges, but he's a pandemic baby. I think it's difficult for kids his age. Yeah, my son it was the middle of kindergarten when school was, when they sent you home and you had to do school from home, and all of first grade. And that's the point where you're really learning how to problem solve with other kids, how to, handle disputes with other kids on the playground. And they missed all of that. So mine is too. 10 years old. So, I don't know. Karen says being a kid is tough under any circumstance. Well, that's true. Yeah. Mindy says my mom bought a huge Togo sandwich I shared with my 6 friends at school. Well, that's nice. Mountain Bike Fan says I hung out with the wrong crowd because we were very poor, and it takes money to hang out with the kids whose parents have money for you to go do stuff. Well, that's true. But I didn't come from a family that was super rich. My mom, my parents were divorced. My mom was a school teacher. And so, there wasn't a lot of activities, but I still had some really nice friends that I'm still friends with to this day. I don't know. Jim says, not true. Parents are coming to job interviews. It's so strange. Okay, that is just too much. Too much. No. Lori says parents want college kids to make friends with people that can employ them, so kids won't move back home. Isn't that true? Yikes. Oh, Walter, I hope you're okay. You had to get a blood test since you're going to UCSF tomorrow to have a stent placed. Well, I can tell you there is no better place for you than UCSF. You are in such good hands. This hospital repeatedly comes in at the top of hospital rankings. So you are in incredibly good hands. I am so happy to hear that UCSF is where you will be. And I know everything will go well for you, but we'll all be thinking about you, Walter. Absolutely. Speaking of friends, you have friends here. So hopefully you feel better and that you recover quickly, but I know you're going to be just fine. Yeah. All right, let's move to the next story because this one is about, and it's not the smell of your phone. I'm not saying you've taken your phone into the restroom and it has an odd smell. This is a story about having the phone emanate smells of things you're looking at. So your phone then, Not only, we're holding it, you're looking at it, but then now it involves our senses. Does that make sense? Your phone would be able to transmit smells. You maybe pick it up to have a video call with a friend. You see them in the kitchen, they're baking cookies. Your phone would then distribute the smell of the cookies that they just baked. I know it's weird, but this is what may be in our future. When you listen to music, talk to someone, you hear the sound through the built-in speakers, which converts digital signals into physical vibrations using a little component called the diaphragm. Then your ears sense the vibrations as sound waves. Your phone also has a screen displaying images and videos using pixels, tiny dots, right? How about the sense of smell? Smells are created by tiny particles called molecules that float through the air and reach your nose. Then your nose sends signals to your brain, which identifies the smell. So scientists are looking at whether your phone could send these molecules to you, and they're working on it. So if you think about how your phone screen works, it doesn't have every color in the world stored inside of it. It uses just 3 colors to create millions of different hues and shades, red, green, and blue, mixes up the dots and the pixels. So they're looking at something similar for smells and developing digital scent technology that uses a number of different cartridges, each containing a specific scent. Just like how the pixels mix those 3 colors to create images, the scent cartridges would mix to create different smells. Just like the images on your phone are made of digital codes representing combinations of pixels, smells produced by a future phone could be created using digital codes. Each smell could have a specific recipe made up of different amounts of the ingredients stored in these cartridges. So when you receive a digital scent code, your phone would quickly get to work mixing tiny amounts of different scents from the cartridges to create the desired smell, which would then be released through a small vent on your phone, allowing you to smell it. They would have to figure out how to create a huge variety of smells with just a few cartridges. And that's challenging. They say designing a system that can produce thousands of different smells using only a few cartridges is going to be difficult, because they have to look at how to control how strong a scent should be and how long the phone should emit the scent. The phones would need to sense odors near them and then convert those to digital codes so your friends' phones could send smells to you. And the cartridges would be easy to refill, the chemicals in them safe to breathe. They say it's a tricky but exciting area of research. And I ask, do we need this? I am absolutely fine imagining the smell of cookies coming from my friend's kitchen. I don't need to smell it. Now, I know it would make the screen even more real world, real life. But I don't think we need that. I just think it's very, very silly. But they're working on making this a reality so that, you're watching your kids or your friend's birthday party online and they smell out the candles and you'll smell the burning, right? The smoke from the candles afterward. Make you feel like you're really, really there. I just, like, of all the things we could study, I don't see how this really is so necessary. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm going to the chat. Do we need this, you guys? What do you think? Teacher Lori says this is a waste of brain power. We do not need this. Come on. Mindy says, life is weird enough. If I have to watch some lady smelling her phone at the store, I mean, really? Really? Jim says, frat boys will send fart smells to each other over the phone, but hologram chambers will include the smell. Yuck. No. Ren says, we need this. Think of ordering flowers online. Oh, to be able to smell the flowers? I mean, I've seen the flowers. I know what the flowers smell like. I know that if I send you gardenias or roses, there's going to be a beautiful smell. I know that if I send you, I don't know, daisies, you're not going to smell very much. I don't know. I don't think we need this. Susan says we don't need this. Murphy says, I think this is dangerous. I can see the smells being created to be better than reality. So life is more disappointing than your addictive online life. Yeah. Well, we know that Disneyland uses smells to create an experience for people, to get them to feel nostalgic, to create these feelings in people where they want to spend more money and spend more time there. They have these diffusers. They pump out smells in certain areas of Disneyland. So I think in some cases smells can be used to manipulate us in some way. I maybe you're right, Murphy. Maybe there's something dangerous to this. Mama says maybe for online shopping, if you wanted to sample a perfume or a deodorant. Maybe, but I doubt I mean, wouldn't that be a proprietary scent? They don't want your phone to be able to recreate it, or why would you need to go buy the perfume? I don't know. John says, oh goodness, there's TMI on phones as it is. What if you're changing a diaper while on a call? Right? Ren says, what if you're ordering plants for your garden? You want to smell them. Maybe. Jim says, maybe before you complete your Uber Eats, you want to smell what that food is like. I don't know. John says they used to have smell-o-vision in some movie theaters as an experiment. Gordon says we do not need this. Wes says, so if you're talking to someone with bad breath, you can tell. No. There's a reason not to have this. John says, I hear they pump the smell of popcorn into the theater while you're watching the movie. Yeah, make you want popcorn. Deidre says Universal Studios uses smells on its rides. The Simpsons ride smells like baby powder when the baby appears. That's so funny. I mean, there is something to say that, it's enhances your experience in certain ways. But I just don't need this every day on my phone. We've been fine without this. I think we'll continue to be. But then maybe phones will change and they'll become something where all of our senses are involved. I don't know how they're going to get me to taste things, but maybe they can do that too. Mindy says, people, just buy some smelly roses for the girl or yourself, not the iPhone. Yikes. I say no. Mountain bikes, I say no. Louise says, must we make everything virtual? What happened to actually experiencing things? Thank you. I mean, I get that there are people that are maybe confined to home, right? That maybe can't go out and do the things they want to do. But you need to be able to experience the world, to roll outside and smell the flowers in your garden. I don't know. I mean, yeah. Okay. Karen says, why do people need to be entertained in so many ways? There's so much more to real life. Buy some real roses. Nobody wants to smell Johnny's diaper. No. SF Tesla says, unlike printer ink carts, this won't stain your clothing. The smell could at least come out in the wash. I don't want to smell like smells from my cell phone. I just don't. Gordon says there are several smells you just do not want to smell. Jim says virtual smell is grandiose when you cannot be there, like smelling Paris during the Olympics. Again, would it enhance the experience? Maybe. Are you okay without it? Yes. Yes. This is going overboard, in my opinion. All right. Let's talk about the cave of the day, or hide in your cave Monday. It's the Neptune cave. This cave is, I have it. This is Neptune's Grotto, and it is in Italy. It's the Grotta di Nettuno, a stalactite cave near the town of Alghero on the island of Sardinia, Italy. It was discovered by local fishermen in the 18th century. It has since developed into a very popular tourist attraction. You can see the line of people walking there in the cordoned off area. Named, of course, after the Roman god of the sea, Neptune, the entrance to this grotto only lies about 3 feet above sea level at the foot of this 360-foot high cave. The Capo Caccia cliffs and the cave can only be visited when the waters are calm. They have a stairway cut into the cliff. In 1954, they put it in. It's 654 steps, goat steps, that lead from a parking lot at the top of the cliff down to the entrance. It's also accessible via a short boat trip from the port of Alghero. The trips are arranged hourly during the summer, less frequently during the spring and autumn. There are 2 other grottos nearby, the Green Grotto, which is not open to tourists, and the Grotta de Ricami, which is only accessible from the sea. This is on a different island as the cave we saw the other day, which is the Blue Grotto. This is Neptune's Grotto, and it's pretty cool. I found some really beautiful pictures of it. Here's another one. I don't know what created that rainbow effect, but how beautiful is that? Neptune's Grotto. Here's another one. So beautiful. Like otherworldly when you're down here looking at the landscape of the cave. Oh, cool. So that's the cave of the day, or Monday's hide in your cave. I don't know what to call it yet. We'll figure it out. Not sure. Yeah, it is beautiful, isn't it? So cool. Oh, you like Moon Cave in Oregon? Moan Cave in Oregon. I'll check out did get a request last week for the Oregon Cave, so I'll do that. My dad lives near a cave that's people go visit because sea lions flock there. So that's kind of cool. Looks like a cool color palette. The Moaning Cave in Oregon. Got it. Okay, I'll check it out. Maybe that'll be our cave for next Monday. Yeah. Karen says, I didn't know until recently that the Yucatan Peninsula has thousands of cenotes. Is a cenote a cave? And I have to look it up. Google it. Cenote. What does that mean? To find out. Cenote is a natural pit or a sinkhole resulting when a collapse of limestone or bedrock exposes groundwater. The term originated on the Yucatan Peninsula of Mexico, where the ancient Maya commonly used cenotes for water supplies and occasionally for sacrificial offerings. Now we know. Thank you, Karen, for the knowledge of the day. Yeah, the cavern is very beautiful. Karen says it's a water-filled cave. Nice. Yeah, cool. Water-filled cave. Nice. Interesting. But yeah, this is Neptune's Grotto off Sardinia in Italy. I'll cycle through these pictures yet again at the end. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you to Wes coming through with the $5 super sticker. Thank you to SJ Lola with a $10 super sticker and returning to the party from your Alaskan travels, and a suggestion to visit Alaska next week, which is maybe where we will head. And Jim with a $5 super sticker. Thank you guys so much. You guys are so much fun and so awesome, and I love spending this hour with you. Thank you for being here. Please join me tomorrow on The Mark Thompson Show, 11 a.m. We'll get it rolling. David K. Johnston will be on the show. Jefferson Graham will be on the show. And of course, tomorrow is Travel Tuesday. Who knows? We might take a little trip to Alaska and follow in SJ Lola's footsteps. Thank you for being here. I hope you go out there and make it a really good Monday, and don't hide in your cave today. All right? I'll see you tomorrow.
The After Party Live would like to thank the following contributors and viewers like you.
Karen, she worked on a cruise ship as a fancy dancer. We're thinking about you, Walter.